In this video, you will learn how to integrate GoHighLevel and Calendly together. Now, there are two main ways that you can connect them. Either you connect Calendly to GoHighLevel, which is a one-way connection, or you connect GoHighLevel to Calendly, which is also a one-way connection. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do both. Now let's look at what each does. So if you integrate Calendly to GoHighLevel, what this will do is whenever somebody books a call on your Calendly, that appointment will also show up in GoHighLevel. This is a one-way integration. However, this is very easy to build. And I will also show you the other way where you connect GoHighLevel to Calendly. Same, just roles reversed. If somebody books in GoHighLevel, this is going to create a new event in your Calendly. Also one-way street, and this is much more advanced and much more difficult to build. This will require obviously your GoHighLevel account, a paid plan on Zapier. We will need to use like a middleman software, and then also a paid plan for your Calendly. That's the only way this is going to work. So I'm going to show you both. I'm going to start with the left one, integrating Calendly to GoHighLevel. So basically all you need to do is you need to go into your GoHighLevel account, make sure that you are on your sub account. And then all you really need to do is go to settings, click on my profile, and here when you scroll down, you go to the calendar settings and you basically add a new connection. You can choose Calendly here. You should be logged into your Calendly account already, and then it will automatically just take that login detail, success Calendly login. And then basically you want to choose the calendars that you want to sync with GoHighLevel. So essentially, whatever, you can just select all, save, and then how does the integration work? Read all of this if you need it. There's the integration limitations and everything. And then basically you can close it now. So now, the connection is there. It has been linked. I'm using my client Simon's Calendly right now. Hope he doesn't get mad. And then basically also you want to select the calendar configuration. You want to add a linked calendar. I think this is going to be like your Google Calendar, Outlook, etc. And then the conflict calendars here are going to be the ones on Calendly. So that's pretty much it, really. Super easy, couple of clicks. And now whenever somebody books a call on your Calendly booking page, let's say this one right here, that's also going to show up in GoHighLevel. Now, we have done this first one. This was super easy. Now let's get on to the real difficult stuff, where somebody books a call on your GoHighLevel, then you also want to add an event on Calendly, because maybe that's where you send your reminders, SMS, everything. So get these ready. I created a Notion doc for you that we're going to go through step by step. This has all the steps that we're going to go through building this automation. And I'm going to also leave it in the description of the video, because this is going to make it much easier for you to build this thing out. Make sure that you have the paid account both on Zapier, both on Calendly. Otherwise, this is not going to work. The first step that we will need to do on Calendly is generate a personal access token. So what this means is when you go on your Calendly account, you want to go to integration and apps. You want to go to API and webhooks. And I already have here a token created. Now, if you do this for the first time, this is probably how the page is going to look like for you. Basically, you just want to click on this create personal access token. So I'm going to create a new token here, name it, let's say GHL connection, create token. And now verify yourself and everything. And you will get like a big ass text. That's going to be your code, like a long ass text and number key. Make sure you save it, like you copy it, you save it, and then you put it somewhere where you will find it, okay? I'm pretty sure Calendly is only gonna allow you to view this code once. So it means if you don't copy paste it somewhere, you will never be able to access it again. In that case, you would need to revoke and then create a new token. No big deal. Just make sure you copy paste it somewhere, because we will need it later. So that's step number one. We're gonna go back here. We got the personal access token, and you will also need to find the event URI. I'm going to show you how to do that now. This is also, we will need this for later step, but let's just do that now, and then we will have no other steps to do in Calendly. So this is going to be a little bit tough, okay? So bear with me. So essentially first you want to go back to Calendly, go to scheduling, and then here find the one that you're looking for, this 40-minute call. I'm gonna connect now. So we have a bunch of 40-minute sessions. And then you just want to follow these exact steps and these instructions right here. So step number 2, open developer tools with Command Option I on Mac, Control Shift I on Windows. So let's go back. And it's gonna open up this crazy ass little thing. It looks a little like a cockpit of a plane, but just click where I'm telling you to click. Let me just reset this. So this is, I think, the first one that you should be seeing. Then you want to go to network and then this fetch XHR. So we went on network tab, we went on network, we went on click on fetch XHR, and in the filter box we're going to type event types. I'm just going to copy paste it from here to this filter box. By the way, and if nothing shows up here, you can just reload the page and then a bunch of things are going to show up. We're going to make sure that it loads up. Okay, and now I'm going to search here in the filters this event underscore types. Perfect. And then you want to click on the one that says event types, and then here, so basically what this does is it sees what info has loaded up on this page, and it will take the sub meta info that we need. Okay, so here you will want to find from all this crazy bunch of code, essentially you want to find the specific event that you are trying to link with GoHighLevel. So I'm going to type here, so this is the 40-minute peak performance session. So I'm going to hit Command F and type peak performance. Okay, so now this has six matches, 40-minute peak performance session. I'm pretty sure this is the one that we need. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna make a differentiate between the orange and the red, but I'm pretty sure this is the first one. And then here, what you will need to look for, again, let me go back to my step-by-step. Click event type request, boom, yep, we clicked it already. And then here we wanna look for this thing right here. URI is, and it's some sort of URL. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to find it here. ID, this UUID, this is exactly what we need. This is exactly what we need. So, yep, and there's the URI exactly right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this UID from the end of this URI. Boom, copy it, and I'm gonna put this here. My URI is this. So this is gonna be really important for the future. And then we also want to find the event location and then event type. So I'm going to go back and we're going to also look for location, time zone, local, location type, outbound call. I can already tell you that this is probably also a Zoom conference, but whatever is here, just copy paste it. Location. Okay, location is this. My location is this. And you know what? I'm just gonna highlight these. No, not like that. I'm just also gonna highlight these with red. This I'm gonna. Okay, this is URI. Okay, this we're gonna turn back to simple. Okay, so we are gonna need these later, okay? So that's pretty much it for Calendly. You will see why we need this later. We will need this in the Zapier step. Now we can move on to GoHighLevel. So the first thing that we're gonna need to do is create a new custom field, time zone. So just a quick summary, why do we need this, is later on you will see, we will go on this Calendly developer page, and this is the documentation about how exactly Calendly wants to receive the automation, how it wants the data to be formatted. And you will see that the Calendly integration will need this time zone field, but it will require this time zone field in this America/New York, or Asia/Dubai, or Europe/Paris format. And what this is called an IANA format, this one right here. Now, GoHighLevel already has the time zone format. If I just go onto context, I will show you. I'm going to search myself. So GoHighLevel already has the time zone in here. However, it's not in this correct IANA format that Calendly needs. And that's why we need to create this new custom field. I will show you later like what exactly this means. So when you do this, you want to go to custom fields and you want to create a new field. It can be a single line, and then you can name this, let's say, time zone underscore IANA. And then this is going to be for, I'm just going to put it for the AI setter. You know what, I'm just going to put it as contact info, so it's more up, and then you can save it. So boom, we are done with this step as well. And then we will need to build a workflow. So I will show you, this is how the workflow is going to look like. There's going to be a new appointment trigger. There's going to be a ChatGPT time zone converter. That time zone is going to be updated into this new field that we just created. And there's going to be a custom webhook which sends the info to Zapier. So let's start building it. I'm going to go to the workflow builder, automation. And I'm just going to create it here, create a workflow from scratch. All right, and we're gonna call this test, or like whatever, YouTube Calendly. Okay, so the trigger is going to be appointment status is the event type. Usually when you create a new event on GoHighLevel, the appointment status is gonna be confirmed. So it's usually not new for me, it's usually confirmed. You want to check like how exactly your appointments are created, but when you create an appointment manual, it's going to create it like this. You can also use another trigger if you want. So this is option 1, to use the appointment status trigger. Another option is when we create a new trigger, is going to be customer booked appointment. This is also fine, and you can use whatever filtering you want here, like maybe they have a tag, maybe it's in a special calendar or whatever else. For this video, I'm just gonna use this appointment status is confirmed, and maybe I'm gonna just put like a test tag. I'm just gonna put this test tag on this so it doesn't mess up maybe other automations that are running in the background. Okay, so what this means is when a call is booked and the person has this test tag on them, this automation is gonna trigger. Now, the next step is gonna be, okay, trigger is done. And then step 1 is going to be to build this time zone converter GPT. So let me show you why simply using the normal time zone that GoHighLevel has is not gonna be working. So as I showed you here on this Calendly developer page, what Calendly wants is this IANA time zone, which is formatted like this. So when it says, let's say this, it's not gonna work. When it says whatever, Eastern Standard Time, it's not gonna work. When it says UTC plus 4 hours, it's not gonna work. So none of these are gonna work. And when you go, let me just go back to the context, and I wanna show you how GoHighLevel has those time zones saved. I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to search for myself so we don't show any other data, any other leads. So when you go on time zone right here, it also shows this Australia/Perth, or this in the middle is the one that we are looking for. However, when you try to take data out of GoHighLevel and then send it somewhere else, it's always going to send what is in these brackets. So it's going to send IST, it's going to send +06, and that's all it's going to send. And it's not going to be working with this Calendly format that they want. So what we need to do as this first step in the automation builder, let me just go back here, YouTube, Calendly integration. So what you want to do is first you want to change the time zone that GoHighLevel has to this new format. And for this, I basically built a time zone converter ChatGPT. Maybe there's like a better way to do this. This seemed to be like the easiest step for me with my knowledge. So basically what this does is it will send the time zone from GoHighLevel to GPT, and it will ask GPT to convert it to this IANA format. And I'm going to show you how to set that up. So the first step here is going to be GPT powered by OpenAI. Now I'm going to use GPT-5 because why the hell not? Probably GPT-5 mini or some weaker models are going to be able to do this too. You know, I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to use GPT-5 and I'm going to call this time zone converter GPT. Action type is going to be custom. And then you definitely want to enable this chat history because this is going to give us the option to put a system prompt. And then basically, honestly, just copy paste whatever I wrote here. And then you can open this advanced option. This is going to be the system instructions. And here you can copy paste this huge prompt with all the time zones in there and etc. So we're going to read through the prompt in a second. I will show you exactly what it does. We're going to copy paste it here. And yeah, let me just read through the prompt for you, and that should give you an idea. So you are a precise time zone converter. Convert the given time zone input to the most common IANA time zone name based on the reference table below. So we have this reference table with all the time zones literally. So the rules are the time zone input will be either an abbreviation, aka SST, CST, EST, etc., or a UTC offset, which is just UTC plus this number that you will receive. So if I go back to the contact, you will see that this is exactly how time zones will be communicated. +06, +07, CST, CST, etc., etc. So this is how the GPT will receive the time zone. And then match exactly to reference table, only output primary IANA name, nothing else, no explanation. So the response of GTP should just be America, Denver, UTC, Europe, Paris. This is the output that we are looking for. It's very strict that it's like this because Calendly, remember, only accepts this format right here. If there's a typo, if there's an exclamation point, if there's any other, output, it's not gonna work. If no exact match or invalid input error, and then whatever, just copy paste this line, doesn't matter. And then here's an important thing. Let me show you something which is, again, super annoying. So you can see here that GMT +8, Asia Taipei, Asia Shanghai. This is CST. So this is all the way in the east in Shanghai. And if you scroll all the way to the other end, to the US Central Time, America, US Central, America, Chicago. This is also CST. So look, CST, CST. So what this means is whether the person is in Asia Shanghai time or US Central, in both cases, GoHighLevel is gonna return CST. Which means that we don't know, is this America, is this Asia? Like, how could they do it like this? How could they build it like this? It's great, it's above me. So I had to put in an extra little info in the prompt where it's an edge case, meaning this is not gonna happen so often, it can happen sometimes. Only if the input is CST, then use this additional note to determine if it's America, Chicago or Asia, Shanghai. If this is the case, then use this little other additional note, other info that I'm gonna explain in a second to determine which one it is. So, yep, and then it's really just the reference table where I basically wrote down every single GoHighLevel time zone option. On the left-hand side, this is how GoHighLevel is going to send you the time zone info. And on the right side, the IANA version, which Calendly wants to see. Okay, so what I did here is an additional note. This is going to be like an optional thing for you. And you need to add somehow, some way, extra info into your prompt that would suggest, is this a US lead or is this an Asia lead? How I am doing it is I have an AI appointment setter which is booking these calls, and that AI is going to update in this other field whether this lead is from the US, whether this lead is from Asia, whether this lead is from none of those places, and then that will be added here into this additional node. I'm pretty sure most of you won't need to use this, so I'm not gonna go more into that about this, but bear in mind that you will have to come up with something if both time zones can occur. So basically the prompt is convert the time zone that you're getting following the rules. Here's the time zone. It's gonna be contact time zone from the native GoHighLevel field, and then only output the IANA time zone name, no explanation. Boom, that's it. I think I over-explained this step, but I hope you're still with me. Now we're gonna put a new contact field update. Update the contact field time zone underscore IANA. So basically what we will do is take the response that GPT generated and we'll put it in this custom field that we created earlier. So we're gonna do this by going here to GPT, time zone converter response, boom. Okay, 2 of the 3 steps are done. Now comes the big step, because now comes the webhook. So let me just close this. We built the time zone converter GPT, we added the custom field, and now we will need to create this custom webhook step, pretty much exactly like this. Now, this URL at the top here, this will need to come from Zapier. So I'm gonna go to Zapier now before I can finish this last step. I'm gonna create a new Zap and we will generate this URL that we need. So the trigger is going to be webhook, premium action. Let me just make this a bit smaller. Trigger event is going to be a catch hook. Okay, continue. Configure, we don't need anything from here. Continue. And then here's going to do this custom URL. I'm going to copy this custom URL and we will need to go back to GoHighLevel and we will create here a new custom webhook step. This is also premium action, which means it's $0.01, so 1 cent per execution. You will have to deal with that. It's gonna be a post, and then the URL is gonna be the one that we created in Zapier. I'm copy pasting it there. Okay, and then basically you wanna fill out everything exactly as it is here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for you. Authorization, nothing needed. Headers. So we're gonna create a new header. This is gonna be called content type. You need to write these things character for character, exactly how I wrote it. If there is a typo, it's not gonna work, okay? And then we will need to do the body now. Content type, application JSON, and we'll need to add these 5 bodies and then these 5 value pairs. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create all these 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can name these whatever you want, you will just need them later. Name, email, phone, start underscore time, and time zone. And then we will put in these variables from here. So this one is gonna be contact full name. Okay, so when I click it, it doesn't work, so I'm just gonna do it here. I'm just gonna do it here and copy paste it. Contact full name, copy paste it here. Contact email, put it right here. Contact phone number, put it right here. Appointment start time, so this is gonna be appointment start date and time. And then the time zone, this is very important here. You don't pick the original contact time zone, because remember, this is gonna be with the wrong data. You also don't pick the appointment time zone, and you also don't pick the user or source or whatever other time zone. You only pick what we just created now, contact, scroll down, custom fields, and you wanna look for this IANA that we just did. Time zone underscore IANA. That's what you need. Boom, and then I'm gonna remove the space from here. So these are the 5 things that you need, and now you can basically save this action. Okay, so now we are done with everything on GoHighLevel side. The last step that we need is finishing everything up on Zapier. So we did the webhook, so we build the whole workflow and we can close this. Okay, so Zapier, we will need to build a simple automation. It's gonna have 3 steps. The trigger, step 1, step 2. The trigger we have already built. Step 1 is going to be a date formatter. So again, let me go back to this Calendly developer documentation. Just the same way the time zone needs to be in this specific format, the appointment start time also needs to be in a specific format. So it's right here. So if I go up, this is what Zapier is going to send to Calendly, this type of code. And as you can see here, the appointment start time is in this specific format. Also, if you go here, you will see start time needs to be in this specific format. This is called an ISO, I believe 8601 format, specific date format that GoHighLevel doesn't have. So GoHighLevel doesn't use this date format. So we will need to take the date format that GoHighLevel gives us and transform it to this format, okay? We're gonna achieve this by adding a formatter. And then the action event is gonna be date and time. Continue. Configure. We're gonna configure the format. Configure the date and time format. Okay. So the input is going to, okay, so now before I can even do this, I actually need to test this webhook. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this workflow that we built in GoHighLevel. I'm gonna publish it. And I'm gonna go on myself here on my own contact. I'm gonna put on myself this test tag, because remember we created this test tag and the workflow is only gonna work if this tag is on. And basically, okay, what was the trigger? The trigger was this appointment is confirmed. So we're gonna create a new appointment to test this workflow. Appointment, add. We're gonna create a new appointment, random, whatever, this all doesn't matter. We're just gonna go ahead and create that appointment, book that appointment. And then if you go to GoHighLevel and you hit execution logs, now this person got added to the workflow, and I'm pretty sure we can see each step. The time zone converter GPT did its job, updated the custom field, and then the custom webhook also got finished and the workflow is done. If you click into these details, it's gonna show you what it has done. And then it also created the webhook, which was a success. And now we can go to Zapier and we can test the trigger. So now this is gonna listen to incoming info. And the info just came in from GoHighLevel with my name, with my email, with my phone number, with the start time of the call, and then the time zone. And then as you can see, this is the format in which Zapier received the date. However, we need this format. So this is exactly what we will need to transform. So we have this date and time formatter, and the input is gonna be the data that came through the webhook in the previous step. So for that, you're gonna click on this plus, and from this catch hook previous step, we're gonna take the appointment start time as the input. And then from this format, we wanna transform it to another format, which is, okay, so it's not this, it's this one right here. So it's this YYYY, whatever. This one, I'm gonna show you. Okay, so here it gives us an example, 2006-01-22T20 blah blah blah. And if you go check here, it's the same. Year dash month dash T time and then some other numbers. This is exactly what we need. Now it's going to transform to this format, and here's another important thing. It will also transform to a UTC time zone. Now we need this, okay? Because if you look again into the Calendly developer stuff, the appointment start time needs to be in UTC time zone. So that's what Calendly will receive. So of course, our date here that we are formatting needs to also be transformed to UTC time zone. From format, you don't need to change anything here. And then from time zone. Now here's the problem. If you have different contacts in your GoHighLevel and they're gonna book in different time zones, so it can be Australia, Perth, it can be any other time zone, then basically this from time zone would be different for every person, right? Now, this is true, so we cannot really choose any one of these ones in this option, but it is very convenient that we did this step, this IANA GPT step in GoHighLevel, and we're also sending that info in the webhook because we can basically just take the from time zone and select custom, and then we're going to use this time zone that Zapier received from GoHighLevel through the webhook. So just in short, we have GoHighLevel converting the time zone to this IANA format, updating into this field, sending all that info to Zapier through this custom URL that we just created. Zapier will catch that info from GoHighLevel through the webhook, and it's going to format the date and time of the call to this ISO whatever 86 whatever format. It's going to also put it into this UTC time zone, and the time zone in which the original call was booked in GoHighLevel will be a variable. That info is also going to be adjusted. So boom, we are done. Yeah, I guess let's test this step. Boom, the output is 2026. So I believe the original appointment was created for, I think it's this one, right? Okay, let me open ChatGPT just for us to confirm. Guys, always confirm when you're building these things. So 2026, February 9, 8 a.m. in Vita time zone to ISO 6 and UTC. And what ChatGPT gives us now needs to be exactly this right here. Boom, 2026 02 09 T. Sorry, we don't need this Vita offset, we need this one right here. 2026 02 09 T 000Z plus null. Okay, done. So our dates and times are working. The last step that we need now is gonna be the, what does it says? Please add action. Oh yeah, of course, we're gonna add another action here. And this is also gonna be a webhook. And this is the final step. The action event is going to be a custom request. And then I'm going to continue. By the way, I have the setup here for the previous step, but we kind of did it together. And then for the webhook, I also have all the details that you need. This looks a little scary, but I'm going to walk you through everything. So we need to use this custom action event. And then when we configure, the method is going to be a post. The URL is going to be this API Calendly /invitees. Data pass-through is false. And then the data is going to be this big-ass code called a JSON file. And we will have to customize it for you. So we're going to do this in a second. Let me just finish these last steps. Unflatten is on yes. Basic authorization, you don't need anything there. Headers, we need to create these two headers. So the first one is going to be content type application /JSON, and then we will have another value set, which is going to be authorization, and then here you basically want to type bearer space, and then here comes your Calendly API access token. This is what we generated in the first step. So you remember when we did this right here, the token that you generated there and copied, that's what you will need to copy paste here after the space. Okay, I'm gonna take my token in a second and put it. Now all we need to do, let's see, is there anything else in this previous step that we had to do? Return row response. No, we don't need that. So now all we need is to just take this crazy code and customize it. Okay, so event type is api/calendly.com/event and then your event ID. So this event ID is the one that we extracted here in this first step. And I put it here with red. It's going to be this one right here, this URI. I'm going to paste it here. Okay. The appointment start time. This is, again, the info that came from a previous step. So we're going to hit plus, catch hook, and then sorry, it's actually not the start time. I made a mistake here. This is not coming from the catch hook. This comes from date time formatter. And I'm gonna highlight this with another color, so you will see that this is another step. I'm gonna do this with green. So this should come from the date and time converter, the output. Okay, I wonder why it's no. Okay, we're gonna put it here. Start time is the output, perfect. Invitee name, this comes from the catch hook. This is gonna be catch hook name. The email of the invitee comes also from catch hook email. Time zone, catch hook, time zone. And the text reminder, catch hook phone number. Okay, and then the kind, this is also something that you need to fill in with the variable. This is going to be Zoom conference if you chose Zoom calls. And then the rest, I mean, I'm pretty sure I should delete these and whatever. You can put null to all of these ones. I deleted a bunch of other things, but this is going to work just fine. So that's pretty much it. And then now you can hit continue. And now we can test it. So let me just grab my key and then put it in here because I didn't put this bearer key in here. Let me just do that. All right, it's there. And now we're gonna test it, test step, and if everything works well, okay, fail to create request, the app returns supplied parameters are invalid. So I'm pretty sure you're gonna run into this as well. So what this means is something in this code that we sent was wrong. And honestly, this right here is not gonna give us like a good understanding of what we did wrong. So essentially what you wanna do to get a better understanding of what mistake you made in your code is go back to this developer Calendly.com thing and then basically take the code that you've wrote here and you wanna copy paste it into these parts and it will tell you what actually you messed up. So maybe I'm gonna do it now. Okay, so I basically filled in all the info from my Zapier into here. And now I'm gonna send an API request and it's gonna tell me what went wrong. So it says it was a bad request. Oh yeah, I forgot to, okay, there was a comma there that I didn't delete. Okay, so it's again a bad request, but now it gives us info about what was exactly bad. And it says the parameter event start time has already been filled. I can already tell you that what this means is we did literally everything right. We did everything correct with our code. There's no mistakes in the code. It's just that the time that we are trying to book, this time right here, is not available on Calendly. And that's why it went into an error. So if I take a time from Calendly, which actually is available on February 14th, midnight is available. So let's try to book a call for that time and see if it works. So I'm gonna pick Martin's test calendar We're gonna choose the UTC time zone for now, and it was 14th, 12 a.m. Okay, I'm gonna book that appointment. So now this should trigger this automation. Boom, add to workflow. Okay, the GPT step is probably working now. GPT step done, updated the contact field, and the custom webhook was a success. So now let's go back to Zapier and let's retest the catch hook, find new records. I'm gonna put this newest 14th, 12 a.m., this newest booked appointment. We're gonna continue with that. Continue with selected record. Okay, continue. Let's transform this to the UTC time zone. Because now this is, okay, now it moved to the new request that we did. Perfect, continue. And then now we're gonna continue and test this step. And now it did work. It says the request was sent by Zapier 0 seconds ago, data in, data out, the appointment has been created. And obviously you wanna go back to your Calendly and you wanna refresh to see, okay, did this call actually get registered in my Calendly? And it's for the 14th of February, 8 a.m. Now this is US Central Time. So Simon has different time zone. He's not using UTC. I just want to make sure that the time is correct. Okay, maybe the best is if I just go into my emails and check for what time I got the invite. So on my emails, the last test that we did, I got this invite for February 14th, Saturday, 1 a.m. to 1:40, but this is in Central Standard Time. This is in my own time zone. Google automatically corrected it. So let's see if this matches the UTC. What is this in UTC time zone? So it should be February 14th, midnight. It should be 1 hour before. Yeah, so this is midnight UTC. Okay, so this means that everything that we did has worked. So guys, if you don't get something while doing this,